Well, it's a pretty foggy morning this morning. It's actually pretty nice outside. It's about 50 degrees, but it was pretty foggy. The fog's starting to lift now, but you can kind of see how foggy it's been. And this weekend's actually our second firearm hunting weekend for deer. So we've already got 2 deer in the freezer. So my wife's she's a night shifter. She doesn't really like to get up early. She's not a morning person. So we've decided to just hunt of an evening this weekend, so that's going to allow me to get some chores done during the day. So today I decided I'm going to do some forgotten winterization tasks. I've got a few things that I need to get done around here before it gets really cold. It's already froze a couple times, and luckily it's warm enough now. I'll go ahead and get these things done before it gets really cold. So the things we're going to do today are probably some winterization tasks, maybe that not everybody does, but they're things that I want to get done here around the homestead. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this stuff done before we go hunting tonight. So the first place we're going to start this morning is we're going to start in the garden. It'll be a little muddy, but still got some stuff out in the garden that I need to take care of. So when most people think about winterization, they think about like garden hoses and making sure to get the water out of your garden hoses. And but in the garden, you know, we've already pulled our tomato cages and stuff like that, but in the garden we also have drip irrigation. So we've got drip irrigation in these raised beds, and we've got it going down our rows back there. And that drip irrigation, it has little drippers, it's got a pressure regulator, it's got a timer, and you don't want any of those components to freeze. So today we're gonna basically pull up all this drip irrigation and get it drained up and get it stored for winter, so none of it freezes this winter and gets ruined. Okay, we got all of our drip irrigation. We've got that all gathered up. We've got that rolled so we can store it in the barn. We've got all of our stakes that we staked our plants to, and then we've got our ground staples that held down the irrigation. So that task is complete. On to the next one. Hey, Comet. I was going to use that again next year. Yeah, you're not supposed to chew on the stakes. Comet. Yes, that's a no. You don't really care, do you? I didn't think so. Okay, our next task is going to be these pump sprayers. So some of these pump sprayers, like this one here with a motor on it, can be somewhat expensive, or the backpack one. Some of these smaller ones are kind of more inexpensive, but what we're going to do is basically just make sure all the liquid's out of these pump sprayers. Then we're going to pump them up and make sure that they're blowing air. Make sure we got all the liquid out of the lines, because I don't want one of these to freeze up and have to buy another one. Okay, our next task is going to be to stabilize our fuel. So these are all of our gas cans here. So we've got some gasoline and some diesel cans, and we've got some stabilizer for each one. So we got a diesel treatment, and then we've got a gasoline stabilizer. So we're going to pour the appropriate amounts in each one of these 5-gallon gas cans to help stabilize those fuels. And then we're going to go around our equipment. So over here, this is a case. This is a diesel tractor, so we'll put some diesel treatment in the fuel tank on this tractor. Then we'll end up going up front. The Alice Chalmers tractor we have, it's a gasoline tractor, so we'll put some gasoline. We'll put some Stay-Bil in that, and then also one thing we might use this winter is our generator. So we'll go ahead and put some stabilizer in the generator so that it's ready to go this winter. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the tractor ready for wintertime. In the wintertime, I always have trouble with the battery staying charged, and it's always really hard to start. So if you got a diesel tractor, if you got one with like a block heater, you're going to want to make sure that block heater's charged in, or plugged in. But on this tractor, it's a gasoline tractor, it doesn't have a block heater, And what I want to do is I just want to make sure this battery is fully charged. So this year I finally bought a battery maintainer to hook to the battery. So let me show you what we got going on here. Okay, so what I bought, I got this just at our local Walmart. This is a Stanley, it's basically a battery maintainer charger. And so we've got it out of the box, we've got it plugged in, and we got it right here. So we're going to go ahead and get this hooked onto the tractor and get going here. So what I got here is this is S. Alice Chalmers is actually a positive ground. So my ground cable is actually the positive on this tractor. It's a little different than most tractors. That's showing its age right there. You know, this is a 1959 tractor. So we'll get that hooked up. Now we'll look at our display. So the battery charger, it's showing that it is charging. That's what that flashing yellow light is. It does have a red light on it. If it shows the red light, that means I got it hooked up backwards on the battery. So it does have a reverse polarity detection, and then that should turn green when the battery's charged. So we're gonna just leave this on here. We'll leave it on here whenever we're not using the tractor, and hopefully when I go to use the tractor, this battery will be charged and hopefully it'll start right up. So I've got one more task that I want to do today, so let's go head out to the orchard and I'll show you what that is. Alright, well, now we're out here in our orchard, and so I had to look around, try to find some of this stuff. It's kind of hard to find, but what I got here is I've got some protective tree wrap. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the trunks of the trees to help keep the critters from eating the bark off the trees. So in the wintertime, the rabbits and the mice will want to eat the bark on the tree when they're looking for food in the wintertime. So we're going to wrap this up, the trunk, about 18 inches. That ought to get the high enough where the rabbits can't get past it to eat the tree. So we're just going to go around the orchard, put this tree wrap on every one of these trees, and I think that should pretty much be everything that I was wanting to get done before it got real cold. Well, I got all the trees in the orchard. I got them all wrapped with that tree wrap. That tree wrap, it actually didn't say it was for mice and rabbits, but that's what I'm trying to prevent. It was for insects and weather is what it said, because it's just a thin cloth. So that's why I was trying to put multiple wraps around the tree and try to layer it as I was putting it on. It's a pretty cheap method to do this. See, like if you bought a tree guard, you could probably have $10 in it per tree, and then I did this whole thing for $8 with those with the tree wrap. They were $2 a roll. I used 4 rolls, so it was a pretty cheap method to try, and I've used it in previous years and I haven't had any problem with it, but there's no guarantee that that'll keep the mice or rabbits out. But for $8, I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing that until I see otherwise. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything I want to get done before winter. I think I'm feeling pretty good about the winter coming. So right now it's about 2 in the afternoon, and I think my wife, she's already got her hunting clothes on, so I think it's time to get out there in the blind and see if we can get us another deer this weekend. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.